Welcome. I'm Sophia from Janky Forever, and today's video is going to be my 100 items I am trying to pan in 2024. You did hear that right. That is 100 items. So let's get into it because this is going to be a long video. I'm going to scooch over and I'm going to actually start with the lip products because we have 25 of those. The first MAC lipstick I want to pan is actually Russian Red, but it's not going to be familiar to most people because it never came in this packaging. What I did is I actually depotted it, I guess, from its original black regular packaging, and I put it into this limited edition packaging from like eons ago. I don't remember what collection this was, but I loved it, and I am wearing this today. As you can see, it is absolutely stunning, and I want to pan this completely. I want to finish this. This is not brand new, but it is basically unused. I think it's been forever since I've worn it. It smells really good. It still has that vanilla scent, but I don't want this to go bad. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get it to a point. Let me show it to you again. I'm going to get it to a point where I can remove this tube and then put something else in there because I like this packaging and I want to reuse it. The next MAC lipstick I want to use up, actually, and I want to use up completely, is this Powder Kiss one. Shade is Reverence, and again I want to use this up. Let me see if I can swatch that for you, and that is what the swatch looks like. I think it's beautiful. It's a lovely regular Tuesday shade. I love it absolutely, and it's basically unused. I think I've used it less than 10 times, so I want to actually use that up. And the last MAC lipstick I want to use, I don't actually want to use up because that's going to be a very difficult thing for me to do. It is Lady Danger, and it is brand new. It's not brand new. I think I've had it for like 3 or 4 years, but it's unused completely. I don't even want to swatch it because I want to start it from like basically completely new, but you can see what this looks like, right? Like you can see what this looks like. It's a beautiful shade, by the way. I can't stop staring at it, but I want to use this 20 times in 2024. Yeah, I think I can do it. I think I can manage that. I will roll this out at 20 times, and I want to see how far I can get with a MAC lipstick in 20 uses. The next lipstick I want to use up is an Urban Decay one. This is in the shade Native. I don't even remember the formula anymore. They don't make it. They haven't made it in ages. I don't remember the last time they did. This is the shade. It is more of a pinkish. It's not even nude, but it's more pink than anything else. But it is a beautiful shade. I do want to use this up. It's been in my collection since they sent this to me when that first launched, so it's been a very long time. The next lipstick I want to use up is the Dolce & Gabbana Sophia Loren one. I have not been successful in using this up this year. It's broken, first of all. I'm gonna have to depot this into something else, but I have tortured this poor soul. I do want to use it up. I think I can still get some good use out of it, and I'm going to enjoy it. Oh, let me see if I can swatch that because this was going to be a difficult one to swatch. I was trying to use this up this year, but that was not a successful endeavor, as you saw. But that is the shade. This shade is perfect for like fall and winter, and I think I introduced it too late in the year. I can't remember anymore, but I definitely didn't use it for long enough for me to be able to use it up. The next two lipsticks I want to use up are actually both L'Oreal, and the first one is from the L'Oreal Collection Privé by Julianne. So this is called Julianne's Nude, and I want to use this up completely. I do love this lipstick. It is actually my perfect nude, and let me swatch that as well. It is a little bit more sheer, so it should be a little bit easier to use. It's this bottom one right there. I think it's a beautiful shade, and I'm very excited to use this up. And the final lipstick I want to use up again is, as I said, also L'Oreal, and this is Fairest Nude. This is basically unused. It's I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all these lipsticks, but I'm going to attempt it because at least I'll get a lot more use out of it. And this bottom one is this shade. And like, now that I'm looking at them, honestly, all the shades are very different. So I think that I'm going to be able to actually manage to make a pretty good dent in all of these products. Let's start with the glosses. And the first lip gloss I want to use up is this Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Fussy. I have this like used up half the way. It's about like at the Y at the bottom of Fenty. So I just want to use this all up. This is a lovely gloss. I love this shade on me, but I've had this for ages. I think we're at like 4 years now. Too long. Another gloss I want to use up is this Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Silk. And I have two of these. I just want to use up one of them. This is gonna have to be it. This is gonna have to go everywhere with me. It's not brand new, but I have two of them. The next lip gloss I want to use up is this L'Oreal one. I think these are their balms. This is in the shade Rose Harmony, 120 Rose Harmony. And the next lip gloss I want to use up is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Luster one in the shade Pillow Talk. I love this. This looks beautiful. This looks just like what the Pillow Talk lipstick looks like on other people, but on my skin tone, because that one doesn't look very good. And that is the shade. It is pretty much like full pigment. I think this is a beautiful shade. I really want to use this up. By the way, all the glosses are to use up. The next three glosses are all Summer Fridays, and the first one is this Lip Butter Balm in Vanilla Beige. I've had this, first of all, I love the shade and I would buy it immediately once I use it up, but I've had this shade for like a really long time. This particular one, I think I got it actually 2 years ago. And that's what that looks like on the bottom. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a lovely product, but I've had it for over 2 years and I want to replace it. Like I want to get a new one next year, but in order for me to get a new one, I have to use this one up. And the next one is a tiny one, but still there's a ton of product in here. There's 7 grams of product in here. Whereas in the larger one, I believe you get 15. It doesn't say here, but oh yes, no, you get 15 in the larger one and like 7 in this one. So this one is in the shade Brown Sugar, and this is the shade that is absolutely perfect for this time of year for me, but it tends to sometimes be a little too deep, but still really lovely. That is the shade right there. Oof, that's actually really beautiful. That's beautiful. I want to use that up too. And the final one is again, the Lip Butter Balm in Poppy. This is perfect for the summertime, for like spring and summer, because it is like a lovely bright orange shade right here. So I want to use that up during like the summertime, because I think it's going to give a lovely pop of color. And the next 3 lip glosses I want to use up. I mean, are these lip glosses? Are these lip balms? I don't know, but they're the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips. They're all the regular juicy lips. I don't like the ones that are plumping. And I have them in the shade Coconut, Rose, and Orchid. So this is Coconut, and it's been used, but I think only a handful of times because I wanted to check the shade. And I'm gonna just swatch it here just to show you. I bought these last year during their November 11th sale, 11/11, where they're all $11. And they just had the sale as well. This is like what that looks like. This is Coconut. It's a little bit more on the brownie side. The next one is Rose. I really like this one. I do have a significant amount left, but it is already showing that I've been using it at the base. But I, again, bought this last year and I just bought more. So I'm not sure if I want to use up both next year or just this one. But for now, I'm showing you this one because I haven't received the other one. This is what Rose looks like. This is my favorite one. And the final one is called Orchid. And Orchid, I only just swatched this morning because I wanted to see if I could buy another one of these, but it's sold out. So, but this is Orchid. So I want to use these up by like next year, 11/11, so I can order more of them. But I will not order them at regular price because they're $24 at regular price. But at $11, you can get 2 for the price of 1. But I want to finish all of these glosses. Since the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips are both a lip gloss and a lip balm, this is the perfect segue to go into the lip balm, so I'm going to go into that right now. And the first one I want to talk about, and I want to use this up as well, is the Super Goop. I think this is their lip sunscreen, unseen sunscreen. I don't know the full name of it. Basically, I just bought it recently. It's almost brand new. I've barely used it. My main issue with this is that it smells like tea tree oil, and that's not necessarily my favorite, but I do need to have sunscreen, especially when I'm skiing. So I'm actually just gonna put this in my ski coat and just apply it whenever I'm skiing. I think that's gonna be the best way for me to use that up. The next lip balm I want to use up is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. I have this in the scent or flavor, whichever you want to go with, in grapefruit, and half of it is done. So I just want to finish this up. I've had this for way too long. I really had it for, I think at this point, 2 years because it was in my backups, maybe 3 years because it was in my backups. I just want to finish this up completely, and I think I'm going to be able to do that. And the last lip balm I want to use up is this Burt's Bees lip balm, tinted lip balm in Daisy. Oh, geez. This actually does have a little hue. Let me show you. And this is also going to be lovely. I've got a ton of this, by the way. Maybe it's easier to show you how much I've used up versus how much I've left. So I have used up significant amount. Actually, what I would say is on this side, I can see I've used up to basically the edge of where it says, of where this comes out. So I can show you how much I have just for the sake of showing you, and hopefully I'll be able to bring it back down. But there's a significant amount of lip balm here. So I'll be using this all year in my opinion, but hey, please go down. Please go down. The first lip liner I want to talk about is this e.l.f. one. This is their Love Triangle formula in the shade Soft Pink. I just got this. I haven't had this for very long, but it's one of those that has like the triangular shapes at the top. It's not even like a droplet. I'm going to swatch this so I can show you what that looks like. That's what that looks like. It's a pretty shade, but the formula is a little bit tough. I think it's a little bit hard. I don't know if I love it, so I'm going to try to use this up, but at the very least I want to use it 20 times to gauge whether I like it or not. If at the end of the 20 uses I'm noticing that it's just too hard for me to use, I'm just going to get rid of it because I'm not going to torture myself with lip products when I have so many. Hell, I have a lot just in this project alone. I don't even know if it's a project. The next nude shade is actually something that's been in my collection forever. I just want to get it out of my collection, and it is these Jeffree Star lip liner in the shade Birthday Suit. I do still have like a significant amount left, but I just want to get this out of my collection at this point. This is the shade of that, and I'm just going to be working on finishing that. The next lip liner is actually something I was working on in my project pan this year, but I haven't been able to finish it. It's quite pigmented and it's quite a lot, and it is this older formula of the Makeup Forever lip liners. This is in the shade number 23. I am still using it. I am still loving it. It's actually a really pretty shade, but I have had these for ages, eons at this point. They sent this to me along with the next one when they first launched these. So I just want to get this done. And the next Makeup Forever lip liner that I have is the shade number 11. Again, this is their older formula. And this is a lovely, lovely shade. It's a bit of a coral. Did I say it's number 11? Yes, it's number 11. So I am going to try and use that up. I think I'm going to be able to use up this shade, the number 11, more readily than the number 23. And the last lip liner I want to use up completely is this Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Lip Pencil in 714. It is something that I'm wearing today. Because it's a more warm toned, though right now it doesn't look warm toned, but it's a little bit more warm toned than another red lip liner that I have. I want to finish this up as well. I think it's about time, but this is how much I have left of that. This does need to be sharpened, but I want to use this up. So these are the lip liners I want to use up. These are the shades, and I think they're all pretty different enough to actually make a difference. I was worried that everything that I was going to be panning would be like the same shade. Now let's move on to the eye products. I have a lot here. I haven't even counted all the golds on this, but there's a significant amount. And let's start with the eyeshadow palettes. And the first one I want to get out of the way is this Natasha Denona My Dream palette. The only thing I want to do here is actually just hit pan on two eyeshadows, and it is those cream to powder ones, the shade Instinct and the shade Edgy. And let me see if I can swatch those for you. So they're drying out, and that's really the problem, but also they really look very similar. To be honest, I don't even remember which one's which. They look very similar, and I just want to hit pan on both of these because they're drying out, as I said, and I don't want to get to a point where they're unusable anymore. I don't know if anybody's had any issues with her cream to powder ones drying out, but if you have, let me know. The next eyeshadow palette I want to work on, I was trying to work on it this year. I realized that I got burnt out on it pretty early on, but I do still love it. It is the ABH Master palette by Mario. So this is what the palette looks like. It's obviously been used. It was basically brand new when I brought it in last year, but I do want to continue using it. I'm going to look down at my notes to see what I want to do with these because I don't remember. I don't want to use up everything here, but there are a few shades I want to use up, at which point I will consider it done. And the first one I want to finish up is the shade Paris, and Paris is this shade right here, and it's a really lovely, lovely shade. Let me see if you can. It's more of a bronze tone. It's beautiful, lovely. I think I'm going to enjoy that. The next one I want to use up is the shade Marina. And Marina is this shade up here, the second shade. This is actually an absolute favorite of mine. Where can I swatch it? I'm already running out of room. This is absolutely, you know what? I'm just going to lower this. I did not intend to, but here we are. This is a beautiful shade. It's very sheeny. I think it's a stunner. I want to finish that as well. The next shade I want to hit pan on, because I'm a little bit unsure about this one, is this blue one called Claudia. I do like blues generally speaking, but I'm not sure about this one yet. So I just want to hit pan. These are moderately easy to hit pan on. If let's say like 10, uses in, I'm realizing I hate it, I'm just gonna ditch that idea, get the 10 uses and be happy with it. The next one that I want to use up is the shade Muse, and it's this shade right here. It's a little bit of a, am I running out of, yeah, no, that's fine. This it's like a brownish, but also has a little bit of a copper. And yet there's still some cranberry in there. So this is a lovely, lovely shade. The next shade I want to use up is Fifth Avenue, and it is this one down here. And this is a more golden tone. Again, these are like ones I can only use when I'm either very, very tan or in the winter. I'm kind of leaning towards these more in the winter time, which is why I want to bring it in right now and then be able to use it in the winter and then maybe next fall and then be done with it. But this is the shade, the next shade that I want to use up. And the final shade I want to use up here is the shade Kim, which is this one right here. I have room. No, right here. There we go. It's definitely a more bronze tone. So this is basically the palette as it exists for me. The other shades I'm not really in love with. These 5 shades right here, Hollywood, NYC, Lula, Isabel, and Violetta, are not my favorites. I have found that using Violetta, this brown one in my hair, when the gray starts showing, sometimes is a good use of it, but it's not really something that I'm leaning towards. If I can, oh, I forgot. Bronx. I want to use up Bronx completely. Is this greenish one. This is the only one I already have a pan in. It's gonna get me that stained. And this is my absolute favorite in this palette. I love this. And overall, this is the palette that I want to use up. And I think I can. I think I'll love it. I think this is going to be lovely. The next eyeshadow palette I want to get some use on is the Lime Crime Venus Immortalis one. I'm really inspired to use this by all the silvers and grays and black eyeshadows that have been coming out. I didn't buy the Natasha Denona Xenon palette, and I think I'm just going to use this palette in its stead. This is a lovely palette. It's basically unused. The only things I'm really using right now are the black one as eyeliner. I like eyeshadow as eyeliner, and the white one as like an inner corner highlighter. It's a really lovely one. It's got a little bit of a shimmer, and so it's absolutely beautiful. Or maybe it's actually even glitter. It's absolutely beautiful. The way I want to use this palette is about, originally what I wanted to do was use this palette like 20 times per shade, and then I realized that for me to do that, that will be what? That will be like 160 uses, and that's quite a lot for an eyeshadow palette when I have other eyeshadow palettes I want to use and enjoy. So I think I'm just going to stick with like 10 times each in whatever way I want to, get some use on it, learn if I like this palette at all, but also really just fill in the space that me not purchasing the Xenon palette will have created, I guess. So this is going to be the next one, and yeah, basically I want to get like 80 uses on this palette. That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. The next eyeshadow palette I want to get some use on is this Colored Rain Botanical palette. This is a lovely palette that I really would like to use during the spring, and I don't intend to use this up completely. What I want to do is I want to use up Primavera completely. It is a lovely, lovely shade. I don't know if you can see that. It's beautiful. It's got a bit of a shift to it. I think you can see it's a bit of an orangey tone. It's lovely. And then I want to also use up Cream Gerbera, this shade down here. It's basically going to be a transition shade, so I think I can use that up pretty easily. And I want to hit pan in Rose Gold down here and Hydrangea up here. And I think at that point, once I've used up Primavera and Cream Gerbera, and these are counted as one individually, and then once I've hit pan on Rose Gold and Hydrangea, I'll be either done with this palette completely or consider my goals met on these for the year. The next eyeshadow palette I want to work on, I'm actually changing my goal on this already. Originally what I wanted to do is use up this Pillow Talk eyeshadow palette from Charlotte Tilbury, but I think at this point what I want to do is I want to hit pan in every one of the 3 shades that are original to this palette. By the way, this like bottom one right here, I just pressed a nude bone shade in the palette so I can have it, so I can use it, but that's going to get used up one way or another. That's not part of the goal. The goal is to hit pan on all three of these, and at that point I will consider my goal met. And the last eyeshadow palette I want to work on is actually one that I just want to reach a certain usage goal on, and it is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes eyeshadow palette. And really all I want to do here is use this palette 30 times. I've barely used it since last year because so many people didn't have it, and I was being very precious with it. But I think what I want to do is use this and enjoy it, because this is no longer the only palette in my collection that fits these cool toned-ish nude shades that work for me. So I just want to use this 30 times as a palette, and I'll be really happy. Are you ready for the singles? There are singles too. So the first eyeshadow I want to finish up is actually one that I had introduced into my project pan this year, but never really got to finish the shade. Just the time was never there. And it is this old City Cosmetics All Eyes on Me eyeshadow palette. This is there's barely anything left. As you can see, this is all that's left, but there's a significant amount still there. So I'm gonna swatch that so you can see how beautiful that is. It's a beautiful taupe shade. When I first got this, it was unique in my collection. It is no longer unique in my collection, so I wanted to get some use on it. And the next eyeshadow I want to work on is the MAC eyeshadow single in Kid. It's basically unused. It's a lovely, looks like a light taupey shade. God, that feels amazing. You can barely see it. It's just like basically skin tone for me, but it's a beautiful, beautiful shade. And as I said, I want to hit pan on this, and that's it. It's going to be really difficult to hit pan on this, I will say. And I think this combo will actually be great and allow me to use both of these at the same time. The next eyeshadow I want to use, I don't know if I'm going to be able to use all of these up, but I'm going to try it, is the Urban Decay eyeshadow single in Sin. This is in the old packaging, so it's been in my collection for eons. And at some point it did break. I repressed it, but it's basically looking new because I overused alcohol. So here we are. But as you can see, I think you can see that there's some pan showing, but otherwise there's quite a significant amount of product there. I'm going to try to use this up completely. I think I can do it, but not actually sure. Well, let me swatch it for you. Not that nobody knows what this looks like, but nevertheless, I'm on a swatching spree, so I might as well swatch it. It is this one down here. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I'm gonna use that up as well, hopefully. The next eyeshadow I actually want to hit pan on. I've already had this one in the past and I loved it. So this is actually, I don't think it's new because I've used it 2 or 3 times just to make sure it was still good quality, and it is. And it is the Stila eyeshadow single in Kitten. And all I want to do in this is actually just hit pan. It is such a beautiful, beautiful shade. And let me swatch that for you. I don't know where at this point. I'm already running out of room. But it is this bottom one down here. Oh, how stunning is that? These two are lovely. Basically, I'm going to be panning the same shade, just like with slightly different undertones. The next item I want to use up is actually not the full item. What it is the MAC pigment in Vanilla, pressed into, a little bit of it pressed into this Wet n Wild little pan. This was Brulee, but I love this. It already has the tiniest pan. Oops. It already has the tiniest pan on it, but that's fine. It is a lovely shade. I don't know why nobody's using this anymore, but I certainly just rediscovered it in my collection this year. And that's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. It's got this beautiful sheen to it. And I just want to use up whatever's in this. I want this entire thing to be cleaned out. And don't get me wrong, there isn't a lot, so I think this is going to be feasible. But that's my goal, just to use up whatever's in here and not press any more into this. And the last 2 powder eyeshadows I want to work on are both from Jouer. The first one is this one. Oopsies, I got it dirty on the front. Is this one. These are really old, by the way, just like very, very old. And the first shade is Cappuccino. I do have a significant pan on it. I just want to use it up. This is something that sometimes I like to use in my hairline, but I think I'll be able to use this up pretty easily. Now the next one though, I don't think I'll be able to use up that easily because it's basically new, or unused rather. They're not new, and it is the same formula, same everything, but this is in Toffee, and this is a beautiful all over shade. By the way, the other one's just a brown shade. I'm not gonna bother swatching that, but this one is just like an all over, slightly shimmery taupey-ish, brownish shade. That's what that looks like. I think that's going to be beautiful. Whoa, that's a lot of basically the same shade or very similar shades. The next 4 eyeshadows are cream ones, and the first one is the e.l.f. No Budge Cream Shadow in Sand Dune, and it's been used very, very lightly, like just a handful of times, and I just want to use half of this, honestly. I'm not really looking to finish this. I think half of this will be nice. It's going to be a nice eye base or like eyeshadow base, so I think I'm going to use it predominantly like that, so I'll be able to enjoy that. The next one is also e.l.f. Same formula, same everything, but this one is in Canyon, and this is a more corally, more corally salmony shade, and this has been used a little bit more. It's a little bit harder when you have nails, but this is that shade. It's lovely. I'm not sure if I love this, but I think I'm going to try to use a quarter of this actually. I was originally going to try and finish half of this, but I think I'm going to try to use a quarter of this. Maybe what I'll do is I'll like carve it into quarters and just go down halfway. I mean, all the way down to into the quarter, and that's it. The next 2 are both like really old Makeup Forever ones. The first one, and this one I want to use up, is the Apple XL Color Paint in I-80. This is a pinkish shimmery shade, which is absolutely beautiful, and I panned a few things in this color family this year, so I think I'm really going to love it. It is very can you even see it? There we go. It is very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury ones that everybody loves. I think it's beautiful, and I want to use this up completely. And the next one is also the same formula, but it is in silver, and this is shade I-12, and I'm really digging this one right now because it's exactly those shades that everybody's been launching in their palettes, but I already have the product, so I might as well use it. Oh, that's too much. Well, it's okay. But this is like a silvery, straight up silvery shade. It's a little bit harder to control how much comes out of it if you're not paying attention, so I'm gonna have to pay attention to it going forward, but it's a lovely shade, and all I wanna do is use this one about 20 times throughout the year, and I think that's a decent amount of times to use these eyeshadows. The last 4 eye products are all eyeliners, and the first 3, and these are going to be counting individually, are the Pacifica shades. I love these. I bought these last summer, and I particularly love this shade, this minty shade. I absolutely love it. And the other 2 are also lovely, but this blue one is also stunning. Oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. The only one I don't love as much as the other 2 is this one, this violet one, because I like to wear these in my waterline, and that one just doesn't pop as much, but these 2 are absolutely stunning, and I love to wear these in the summer. I think I'm going to wear this a lot with that orangey eyeshadow in the Colored Rain eyeshadow palette. I want to use each of these 20 times, and I think that's going to be lovely. I think I'm going to use the mint one and the blue one a lot more than that, but that will be sufficient. And the last eyeliner I want to use is this Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Overdrive, and this is a really, really beautiful eyeliner. It's such a gem-like shade. I think it's like a bright, it's more bright than, I don't even know what the shade is called, but I have 2 of these and I want to get some use out of it. I actually would like to reach the very top, like I want the bottom of this cap to reach the very top of the 2 out of the 24/7. So basically not halfway, but I think I'd like to use a significant amount actually. So just so we're clear, the eye products, I did the math, and that's 34 products, and I'm not even considering individual eyeshadows in the Lime Crime palette. So, whoa. I've been talking too much, so I'm going to try to get through the rest of this very quickly. The first item I want to talk about next out of the base products is this Say Super Glowy Gel in Star Glow. I have about half of this mini one left. I want to finish this up. I don't love this product, and I don't want to have it in my collection any longer. The next item I want to use up is actually the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I do love this product. I think it's lovely, but this is in the shade 1, and believe it or not, this is still too deep for me for most of the year. I can really only use this in the summer. I want to use this up, and I want to get the other one, the lightest one that they came out with for next fall and winter. And I have used up to the top of where it says e.l.f. right here. So you can see I have it marked right here, and yep, up to that point. I want to use this up fully. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do that, but I want to do it. The next product I want to use up is this Merit Great Skin Instant Glow Serum. It's basically new. I got this last year and then I had to pack it away. This is glass. I want to use this up. I think especially in the winter, I'm going to need the extra hydration this gives. So this is the perfect time. The next three products I want to use up are also primers. They are the e.l.f. Putty Primers in these minis. And each one of these, by the way, don't be fooled. They're each 4 grams of product, so it's going to be quite a lot. Most of these are new. The only one I've used once or twice is this Luminous one. So all of these are basically brand new at this point. So the ones that I have are Luminous. It's on the front. Why am I looking on the back? Luminous, the regular Poreless Putty Primer, and the matte putty primer. So I want to use all 3 of these up. And the last primer I want to use up, this is my absolute favorite one for the pores, is the Tarte Timeless, what is the full name of it? Smoothing Primer. This is half the size, by the way, of a full one, and it's cheaper to buy half of it, the half size, versus the full size. So I have used this, but you know, not too much. So I want to use this up before it goes bad, before it dries out, so I can buy a new one. So I have quite a lot of primers and glowy products to use up. So let's talk foundation. Is the Colored Rain Skin Sticks Multi-Use Foundation Stick. This is in the shade 220 PN, and it's basically brand new. I was waiting for, you know, for me to lose my tan in order to use it, and so this is going to be the perfect time. But this is how much product you get. It's a significant amount of product, sure, but it is a lot less than I thought. So I want to see if I can use this up over the course of the winter, because that's when I'll really like having something this shade. It's very, very light. But let's see how that goes. I'm really interested in trying that out. That's an experiment. The next product I want to use up, I've only used a single time to make sure it was still okay. And it is the old formula of the Tarte, what is the full name of this? Their Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Airbrush Foundation in the shade Fair Light Neutral. When I used to tan a lot more, I used to be able to wear this more readily. I can't wear it as readily now, but it is a lovely powder foundation, and I want to use it up. I mean, this is one of, by the way, one of those that has the mesh on the inside. I think I can use this up specifically in the summer, but that is the goal for now. When it comes to other powders, I want to use these 2 powders from NARS. These are both the Soft Matte Advanced Perfecting Powders in the shade Creek and the shade Cliff. These I bought last year and I reviewed them, and I've barely used them since then. I don't know why. This is in the shade Creek. This is a slightly deeper shade. This actually makes my face look more alive. And I want to use it up, and just in case you don't know, it has like a nice full mirror too, so it's really lovely. And these powders are lovely, but I've been preferring a lot of loose powder recently, so I want to get these out. You know, these were actually really expensive. I think they were $35 each. And the next one is in the shade Cliff, and it is a lot lighter. Oof, that's actually really light. I think I'm probably only going to be able to use it around my eyes and like my under eyes, and maybe a little bit here to, you know, lighten up certain parts of my face. And the last product that I have is actually the Rare Beauty, I think this is the Always the Optimist or Always an Optimist setting spray. I've used about half of this, and I want to use this up. I'm just preferring setting sprays that actually set my makeup versus setting sprays that just give more of a dewy look these days. But I do like this product and I want to use it up. It is in my collection. I bought it last year, so I want it out of my collection by the end of next year. If you've been noticing a trend, it's that I want to use a lot of products that have already been in my collection for at least a year, so that if I finish them by the end of next year, they would have only been in my collection for 2 years. So that's not so bad. But there are a lot of more products that are a lot older, so we'll see. The second foundation I want to actually use up next year is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I have this shade that is way too deep for me. I have another one that works better, but this is in the shade Patagonia, and it's definitely not suited for me at any time of year. It is 3 shades too deep for me, so I want to use it up. Generally speaking, I like to mix this with other really light foundations, even the correct shade of this that I have for the summer, but I am at like this point, like right under the top of the R, and I want to just completely finish this by the end of this next year. 2 concealers I want to work on are the Dior Backstage Flash Perfector Concealer in 0N. I don't know why everyone loves this concealer, but I don't love it as much as everybody else seems to. So I want to give it a true go because I'll wear it once or twice and then I keep going towards like the other concealers that I love. So I really want to give this a true go, and I want to use it to maybe like right above the O in Dior. You know what? I'll see. At the very least, to the right above the O in Dior. And the next concealer I want to use, I actually want to work on it. It is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Dark Spots Serum Concealer, and I have quite a lot. You kind of have to. I kind of have to use it like this. By the way, this is in the shade Fair Neutral 11. And I'm at like this point right here where you see the red marking. So it's like right above the silver line, the silver stripe right here. What I want to do is actually I want to use it to like the base of that silver stripe. I don't hate this. This is great for the rest of my face, but I do want to cycle through my concealers because I have bought a lot of concealers this year. And this also came into my life this year, and I want to get through them. I don't want to have concealer sitting forever and ever. So these two are going to be added to the base products I want to use up, reach my goals on. Let's move on to the color cosmetics that go on the face, and I'm going to start with my favorite bronzer. It is the NARS Laguna Cream Bronzer in the shade 01 Laguna. And I have hit pan on this, like quite a significant pan. I do want to use this bronzer up completely though. I bought this last year, so I've already had it for a year in my collection, and I want to use this up before it goes bad. And at that point, I can buy a second one. So that is the ultimate goal. Just use it up so I can buy another one. The next two bronzers I want to use up are the Merit ones. The first one is the shade Clay, and I believe I've used this quite a lot. I'm actually going to show you how much I've used it already. There's quite a significant dip in it, but I want to use it up. I'm going to show you how much I have of it. I do have quite a significant amount, but I think I'm making quite great progress on it. I am wearing it today, but I do want to use this up, and I want to show you in comparison to its sister shade that I also want to use up. By the way, I got these last year. They were sent to me for review. So, and since Merit is a clean beauty brand, I'm afraid that it's going to go bad. So again, I want to try to work on these and use these up hopefully by this time next year. So the second one is in the shade Quince. It's a lighter shade, but I want to show, so I have barely gotten much use out of it. Like this is all the way rolled down, rolled down, and there's still a bit protruding on top. So what I actually want to do is I want to use it up, and I'm going to show you how much I have, and I'm going to compare it to the other one. So I have a significant amount. Like this is how much I've used up of the other one. That's a significant chunk when you think about it, but I want to use both of these up along with the NARS one that I mentioned because I think that these are really beautiful. These are lovely and balmy, but I think it's necessary that I work on them in order for me to actually not let them go bad in my collection because they're lovely products and I don't want them to go bad. Talking about bronzers, I have two others I really want to work on. The first one is the Tarte Sculpt Tape Double Duty Beauty Bronzer in Soft Bronze, and I have quite a lot in it. I mean, like it's like quite to the very tippy top. I bought this earlier this year, and I do want to use this up. They say that this is in a contour shade, but who is that contouring? It is a pretty warm shade, so I want to use this up completely. I don't love this product very much. I don't hate it. I'm not hate panning. I don't hate it, but I don't love it as much as I thought I would, and I kind of want to work on it so I don't have unused product just hanging out in my collection. And the next one I like a lot more, and it is the Flower Beauty Low Light Liquid Contour in the shade Light. The only thing I want to do with this is just reach the base of the O, like when I fold it over, so it's like at the O, it's pretty full still, so there's quite a lot of product. And let me see if I can show you. I don't want to get too much product on it, but like there's a huge difference. This is clearly a contour shade when compared to the Tarte one. So I want to use this as a contour shade. That's it with the cream bronzers, but I do have a powder one, and you're not going to believe it. Sorry, there was a little bit of powder on it, and it is this, I have this in the pan because I depotted it, but it is the NYC Sun something bronzer, and you can still see Can you see that? Can you still see the imprint on it? You should still be able to see the imprint on it. And I do want to use this up. I think a full year to use up a powder bronzer is a decent amount of time. I will be using other bronzers, but this is just really because of, like, you know, the good old times. You can't get that one anymore. I only have 2 highlighters, so I'm just going to show those. And the first one is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand highlight in the shade Champagne. I want to use this up. I have used it enough where you can actually see the gap in the middle, but I do want to use this up. Can I swatch it? Can you even see it? It's a beautiful highlighter. So I do want to use this. I'm not going to squeeze it because if I squeeze it, it's just going to get the product to come out. But I want to just use this up. And when it comes to a powder highlighter, I have a pan. It's something that was given to me at one of those events, brand events that I went to. And this is Ciate London highlighter. I don't remember the formula of it, but this is in Moon Dust. And it is basically brand new. I have used it, not too much, but I have used it. And I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit, so yeah, it's a little bit more peachy than golden. I think it's beautiful and I'm excited to use that up. There are some other highlighters I want to work on, but I don't want to finish them. The first one is the Gen Nude Highlighting Blush in Peach Glow. And this is a really lovely peachy shade. Let me see if I can show you. And I want to use this really as a blush topper. I'm going to be showing you some blushes, but this is really lovely. I definitely want to get about, I would say 30 uses on that because I've put it away. And the next highlighter I want to use up, actually I want to use up this entire product, is this Becca X Jaclyn Hill Champagne Splits. This is in Champagne Pop at the top, I believe. Yeah, Champagne Pop and Flower Child. So I want to use both of these up. I actually think that's going to be beautiful, and I'm excited to use that up. They have been used, but not as much as they should have for something that's been in my collection for that long. And continuing with, I guess, highlights as the theme, because every one of these products I'm going to show you is going to have highlights as well. The next item I want to work on is this Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Beautifying Face Palette. This was in the fair to light to medium shade, I remember. And all I want to do, this was from last year, although it's available now again. I want to use each one of these shades, highlighters and blushes, 20 times each. So, you know, that's 80 uses just out of this palette, which will be a lot more use than I got since I bought this last year. So I really want to make sure that I get my use on that because that was expensive. I believe that was $70, which is a lot. And the next product I want to use kind of like the same way as a Charlotte Tilbury one is this Pat McGrath Cheek Palette from last year. And I want to use, can you open up? I want to use each of these up about 20 times each, and there are 4 blushes in this one and 1 highlighter. Again, I want to use these 20 times each, so that's like 100 uses just out of that palette, which is insane now that I think about it because I have more blush here. The next, but the next one isn't blush. The next one is a duo as well. This is also Charlotte Tilbury. It is the Film Star Bronze and Glow Face Sculpt and Highlight in this. This was in the fair, I don't remember. So I haven't used this as much as I should. And I want to use this duo about 100 times over the course of the next year. It doesn't matter which one I use. I want to reach into this palette or duo 100 times. I've barely used it. I don't think I've used 100 times combined already, and I've had it in my collection since before Charlotte Tilbury released these in minis. So I'm thinking at least 4 years, maybe 5. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. The next 3 products are all blushes, so I'm just going to go through them really quickly. The first one is Merit Flush Balm Cheek Color in Cheeky. This is barely used. Again, I was gifted this last year. This is the shade. I was actually going to buy a set of these, like mini of these this year, and I realized I barely used this one. I have no business buying more. So I do want to use this up because by next year, this would have been 2 years old, and I don't want to have that in my collection for that long. And then the next one I also want to use up, mainly because the packaging on it is breaking, and is the Tower 28 Beach Please Magic Hour Cream Blush. I love this blush. I really want to enjoy it before it goes bad, but the the packaging on it is breaking. So, and that happened actually with the bronzer. I don't remember the name of it, but the bronzer of it too. So I'm gonna swatch it here so you can see what that looks like. So these are like pretty different. I would say that I'm doing pretty well when it comes to keeping at least some of these shades different from each other. And the last blush I want to work on, I've had this in my collection for so long, I don't actually remember, maybe 7 years, maybe 8 years, maybe 6 years, I don't remember, but a really, really long time. And it is the By Terry blush in Beach Balm, and I've literally never used this. It is brand new to the point where it still has this inside as well as the little plastic on it. It's just, I mean, how beautiful. Sorry, it's just, it won't stay open. How beautiful is that? So I want to use this blush, I would say 30 times. I want to use this 30 times. That will be more use than I've gotten on it in like 30 years. 30 years. Since I've had it in like the 7 years that I've had it. I don't want to swatch it, honestly. I want to use it for the first time on my face. So I don't know. I just love the idea of that. So that is not it yet. I still have more product. So I'm going to put all these away and I'll be right back. Almost forgot this one. I want to use up this Urban Decay All Nighter Long Lasting Makeup Setting Spray in the 30 milliliter bottle. I've not even opened this, so I want to use this up. It's not going to be hard, but I just want to work on it. And as you can see, I've just taken it out of the packaging, and this is it. I want to use this up, so I'm excited to do that. We're almost done. Let's get into the brows now. And the first item I want to use up is actually this Urban Decay brow blade in the shade Brunette Betty. And the only side I want to use up and work on is the pencil. There really isn't much here, but this is brand new. There's like, it's never been used. So I'm really excited to use this up, and because this has been in my collection for ages. But the brow product that's going to be the true challenge here is actually the Brow Power from It Cosmetics. This is brand new. I've never used this before. I've used the product before, just not this particular one, and I even have backups of this, but I want to show you how much I have. So as I said, this is brand new, hasn't been used. I'm going to use my shirt I found is a good way to show you how much I have. This doesn't look like a lot, but this will take a full year to use up because there's quite a lot of product, and this formula is wonderful. There's no waste with it, and it's pretty pigmented. So this is in the shade Universal. Yes, Universal Taupe. And moving on, the last brow product I have is this. This was a gift from Ulta, like just with a purchase that I made. It wasn't a Morphe product purchase that I made, but it came. It's the Morphe Clear Supreme. It's the Morphe Supreme Brow in Clear. I have used it a couple of times. You can't really, I mean, maybe you can see it a little bit, but I want to use this up. I want to use it up. I think that's going to be a nice goal. And let's move on to some skincare items. I don't have a lot. The first one I want to work on is this Versed Weekend Glow Daily Brightening Solution. This is a 4-acid complex bearberry extract. I got this earlier this year. This was gifted to me, but I haven't used it because I was using a lot of other actives. And now I want to get into using this one, and I want to use this up. I'm pretty excited, actually. The next item I want to use up is actually also Versed, interestingly enough, and it is the Advanced Retinoid Eye Balm. I have also used this a little bit, but then I completely forgot about it. And I want to be sure to use retinol products around my eyes so I can, stall the signs of aging. The last skincare product I want to use up, it's actually from my sister. She gave it to me. She actually gifted this to me when she went to the Blue Lagoon in Iceland. She got a mask. She got 2 of these. This is the algae mask. I've never used this, and I don't really mask. It's actually brand new. It still has that thing on it. I don't really mask very much, but I wanna use it. I wanna use it. I think it's gonna be fun to have that experience at home, and hopefully I'll go to Iceland this year. Who knows? And the last 2 items I want to use up are actually both fragrances, and the first one is a full use up, and the second one is a partial use up. The first one is Ellis Brooklyn Fable, and I only have it in the travel size. I really love this fragrance, and I'm sad that I didn't get this in a full size when it was available. Although, do I have it? Oh yeah, I think I have this. It's in it's not unpacked yet. It's actually in storage. I think I have this in full size, so I won't miss it for very long, but I do want to use this up completely. And I'm currently located right at the Brooklyn where it says Ellis Brooklyn. And the second perfume I want to work on, I don't want to use it up completely because A, it's very expensive, and B, I don't want to hate it, is the Diptyque de Son Eau de Parfum. So I love this fragrance. This is a lovely fragrance. It's one of my favorites. But I've had this for a very, very long time, a few years, to the point where, as you can see, it's starting to change color. This was clear before. So what I want to do is over the next 2 years, I would say, I want to use this up fully, but the only thing I want to do this year is use this halfway. So I'm at least going to try to get to the point where, like, under the N right here, under the N of Dosan, so that at that point, it's not going to leave too much for me to go through, because I do love this fragrance and I don't want to waste it, and I certainly don't want it to go bad on me. So I'm actually going to decant this into a vial, a spray vial that I already have, and I already have some in it. So I'm going to decant a little bit of it and I'm going to fill it to the very top, and then I'm going to, hopefully finish that. And I will show progress on this as well as this bottle throughout the year. I'm popping this in because I forgot a few items. These are all going to be skincare, but I really want to take care of these during this coming year. So the first item I want to use up is this Hawaiian Tropic Weightless Hydration SPF 30 body sunscreen. I have used one of these already, but I'm very bad at applying sunscreen during the winter times on the rest of my body. Like, my face is fine, but not my body. Then I also want to use up this Tree Hut Tropic Glow Fragrance Shimmer Mist. Doesn't give much shimmer. The scent is nice, but I want to use this up. I also want to use up, because I've had this forever, this Pixie Retinol Tonic. I have it up to like the halfway point. The next item I want to use up is this Caviar Miracle Multiplying Volume Mist. I am like right above where it says Miracle, so like at this point right here. And the most surprising item I want to use up, I would say, is this Sunday Riley Good Genes. I have it in the gigantic bottle, obviously. I love this product. I've used a ton of it, as you can see. I'm at this point right here. Excuse me. But I've been using other skincare items, and I do want to prioritize this because I also have a double size of this. Yeah, like a double size of this in my back stock. So I want to get into that. But in order for me to get into that, I have to finish this first. Additionally, I don't want to use up all of this, but I have a lot of deluxe size samples, so I want to use 10 of these items. And I have a lot of foil samples in this Make Poor Decisions makeup bag that I got from Benefit when I went to their event last year. I have a whole bunch of foil samples. There's some laying around. I want to use up all the samples I have. There's a lot more. There's more like right here. Like, as you can see, this is what I have for the gym. There's a lot of stuff. So these are the items I would like to use up next year. And that's it. That was, I think, over 100 items that I want to use up next year. I don't know. I lost count at some point. I just lost count. But these are the products that I want to work on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next one. Bye.